You've settled your medical malpractice or accident case here in the state of New York, and you want to know, when can I get my settlement check? Would you like to learn this answer? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. That's a question every single injured victim has once they settle their case. When can I get my check? The short answer is the defense has 3 weeks in which to make payment once they have gotten all the necessary closing papers. Now, what does that mean? Well, there are certain papers that are required to be signed in order to finalize your settlement. And it takes time for us to send the papers to you, for you to sign them, have them notarized, send it back to us. And once we send it out to the defense attorneys, it has to be sent out in a certain way. Typically, it's done by certified mail, return receipt requested. Once that happens and they have all the necessary paperwork, and all the paperwork is appropriate and signed off completely, they then have 3 weeks in which to make payment. Now, does that mean you're going to get your check within 3 weeks? No, it doesn't. Why? Because what happens then is that now the defense goes ahead, sends it off to their insurance company. The insurance company processes the paperwork. They then issue a check. The check gets then sent to our office. Once it arrives in our office, remember, they have only 3 weeks in which to do that. Once it arrives in our office, a couple of things have to happen. You have to come into the office to sign your check. And why do you do that? So that now that it's endorsed, we then have to sign it as well, since the check is made out both to you and to my law firm. We then have to take that check and deposit it into our attorney trust account. That's known as an escrow account. And it will take a number of days for that check to clear. And once the check has cleared, then we can go ahead and cut your check to you, and that's when you get your settlement check. So the short answer is the defense will have 3 weeks in which to make payment to us, provided they get all the necessary closing papers. Once the check arrives and the check is endorsed and deposited into the escrow account, we then have to wait until the check clears, and then we can cut your check. What happens if this is a wrongful death case? If this is a wrongful death case, the time in which you have to get your settlement check is going to be a lot longer. Typically, it's going to be many months after the settlement has happened. Why is that? Because the court, the surrogate's court, must approve how the money is distributed. So before we can ever actually get the money to you, the surrogate's court must sign off on the paperwork that we submit to them in order to approve the settlement as well as approve how the money gets distributed. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you because every single injured victim, once they settle their case, wants to know, how long does it take to get my settlement check? And chances are you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter, and if your matter happened here in New York, what I encourage you to do, if you have legal questions, is pick up the phone and call me. This is what I do every single day. I answer legal questions just like yours, and I'd be happy to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Jerry Oginski here in New York. Have a great day.